Peace. Greetings, my friend. Larry from Larry's Fountain Pen Review here in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome to my channel. If you're brand new to the channel and you just by some coincidence found me, you might want to subscribe to that channel right now, and don't forget to hit that little bell so it'll notify you when I put up a review. I'm going to talk about Crayolas. No, I'm not going to color for you, but I'll show you what I'm working on right now. Some people ask, so, do I work with the Crayolas? How do I use Crayolas? Do I like to create things? Well, I'm using these right now because I'm trying to get me some colors mixed up, and I'm using the Crayolas first of all to try this, to see what colors I like kind of matched up, because I want to find a blank and get a pen made.
And for the new people, a blank is what?
A blank is, oh, they come so long, and this is how you make your fountain pens. And they can come in acrylic, different kinds of resins. So it starts with a blank. If you don't have a blank, you don't have a pen. That blank sits on the lathe machine, and then you get to working how you're going to shape it, and it falls in place. It's some work, but I'm looking for that blank that has the colors that I want. If I can't find the blanks, then I will see if I can have the blanks made by pouring the different colors in, which they do, and you have to let them sit. I don't recall for how long, but that will make the blank. So once I find what I'm looking for, the next step is to get a hold of Jim Hines and let him know the color I want. And I will show him the color I come up with and see if he can match it or how close he can get to this color. And then I've got to do more planning on what material I want, what kind of resin, because there's several types of different kind of material resins you can use, all from acrylics all the way up to ebonite. And so then the next step is I want to design the pen. I don't like super long pens. I mean, they're not bad, don't get me wrong. I have some. Sometimes I like to post my pens, sometimes I don't. But what I always love to do is have a clip on them. I know that. So, I will work on the dimensions of the pen. I like girthy pens. Like the Conklin All-American. It has some nice girth to it. Like the Edison Collier pens, they have some nice girth to it. The Mont Blanc 49, nice girth to it. The Jinhao 159 and the Jinhao 750 has some nice girth to it. Even the Parker 51, the vintage, and the Waterman, they're not a girthy large pen, but I do like the size. So, I'm kind of like here and there, trying to find the right balance that I want to create. This will be my first try to do this. So let me show you some of the colors that I've been working on. But in fact, so I can read this thing. Let's start from the top one here. This is a purple and red, done with Crayolas. A purple and black, and orange and black and orange. Reverse it because the reason why I did it twice, this time I laid the black heavier over the orange. Because I'm kind of thinking when you mix your blanks, if you put in more of one color and less of the other, that may, I'm not sure, make that color come out either darker or lighter. I'm no expert on that. Then here's one with a sky blue and gray. And then here's an orange and yellow. Now that's kind of interesting. An orange and red. Here's a real interesting one right here. The blue and red. It kind of reminded me of Jim's Blue Storm, but I have to revisit that. But it's a nice color. And then you have a purple and green. That's not a bad looking color there. And then a brown and green. That's not a bad color here. It looks more of an orange, but that was brown. And here's a cool looking one. Here's a blue, green, and orange. And then a brown and red. And here's a cool one, a blue and yellow. Kind of like that as well. That's kind of cool. Then we have black and red. It doesn't do much for me, but maybe after the blank is already made, or if I see one, it might have a better look to it than just using Crayolas. I'm just trying to get ideas down. Black and yellow. Could have a little bit more black in it. Then you got black and green. That's kind of interesting for me. Then the blue and gray is interesting. I like that one. The blue and green is interesting. And the black and white, you can't see the white, mostly black. There's a little bit of the white in there. I've seen blanks with black and white, and they're really nice looking, but just with Crayola, it just doesn't come out that nice. But yeah, there are some nice ones out there though. Then here's a red and green. And then the green and yellow. And here's a black and yellow. That would be interesting once you get that blank and start working on it. I think that would be cool. That you have, just imagine a blank, solid black like right here. Then you have this yellow all through it. It doesn't dominate over the black. It just adds to it some highlights to that black, just to try to help bring out that color. From that yellow to me would kind of help that black from going to just a jet black, heart of darkness black, like the black hole. You would have kind of a light in there with that yellow. My way of thinking. And last but not least, you have a yellow and red. Well, these are something I have been working on. So I will do a little bit more work trying to find that certain color I'm looking for. I have no idea what color it is. But like I said, this blue and red looks interesting. The blue and green looks interesting. The blue and gray looks interesting. The black and red might be interesting, depending on how, I guess, it would be poured to make the blank. Black and yellow as well might be. So I've got a lot of interesting choices. The blue yellow is a nice one. The blue green and orange, that's a cool one. The purple and green is interesting. So that's what I'm doing. And once, like I said, once I get down the color I want, then I'll look for the blanks that can offer the kind of color I want. And then I will give Jim Hines a buzz and get his input on the color I want. And either he can pour color maybe, or he may know someone that would pour the color for the blank. But after that's done, there's more work left, a whole lot more back, because making a pen, you have to lay down all the groundwork for it, cover all your bases. Then I've got to find out the size of pen, the length, the girth. Just find that right size and fit I want, which is hard. Like I said, I gave you the few models that I like. So then shape it. That would be my last stage. So can you imagine the pen laid out on paper? It's going to have all the dimensions on it. And then the color underneath. So the diagram of the pen and the color, I will send this to Jim. If needed, I will go over to Jim's house and we can go over the creation to make sure that he understands everything that I want. So, and I want to make everything clear how I want the pen so he can understand more of what I want. First pen I want to create. So, I hope you found my little adventure of making my first pen interesting. It's about time. I'm not actually going to do the hands-on making the pen. That will be Jim Hines actually doing it. I'm coming up with the color coordination and the dimensions and specifications and the shape of the pen, how I want it. I'm going to get all that lined out. So once Jim gets that blank, then he can go from there and he can create at the final stage of the pen. Well, that'll wrap it up, folks. Thank you for joining me today on Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews and getting the inside look of what I plan on doing this year. God willing, it will happen, and then you'll be the first to have a little look-see of my new creation. Take care. God bless. Be safe. As always, don't text and drive, my friends. Bye-bye.